Hello, welcome to Evaluating Real Estate Investments. I hope you find the information that I'm about to share both helpful, informative, and inspirational. My name is StacyA McBain, and I will be sharing with you how to evaluate the possible return on investments, including small and large investments in real estate, while maximizing the numbers and discussing the financing and the current real estate market. I am an associate broker with Swope Investment Properties, which is a Boise, Idaho-based real estate brokerage focusing on investment properties. I am an investor myself. I've learned some lessons the hard way, and I hope that I can help you skip the hard part as I share some of my information gained through my own investments, as well as those helping other investors in the local area succeed in real estate. My own strategy is buy and hold for cash flow, and I've also included myself in some partnerships through Swope Investment Properties and my broker, Mike Swope. But before we get in too deeply, let's talk about why real estate. There's several things that make real estate an enticing endeavor for investors. We've got cash flow, of course, and appreciation, and hopefully when one of these avenues for revenue falls short, the other one can kick in. Tax benefits and leverage are two advantages that real estate offer that we don't see stocks and other investments offering in the same way. I don't see banks lending us money to invest it in the stock market. And all the while, through all of those things, we have principal reduction, hopefully with tenants paying down your mortgage on your investment. So if one component gets squeezed, the other can ramp up. And before we get too deeply into that, though, the rules of presenting state that an attention getter is appropriate. And so since I need all the help I can get, here is my best impression of a weatherwoman to discuss the climate of real estate investing in Boise, Idaho. Idaho's investing climate is hot, 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 folks. We have no end in sight to the heat today. That being said, with the temperatures on the rise, you're going to want to bring your sunglasses and your sunscreen, but still keep an umbrella handy, because despite the forecast, it never hurts to carry a little extra cash for your rainy day fund, as intermittent showers always are possible. This is your extended forecast for Idaho's investing climate. Okay, considerations that you should have while investing in Idaho. The overall market climate. Adjusting strategies to fit that market climate, and then the pro forma, running the numbers. These are the three things that I'm going to really focus on, and that I do focus on with investors. And let's start with the overall market climate. When it comes to evaluating investments, the numbers aren't the only thing that we're looking at. The market climate is a big deal, and Idaho's investing climate, from single-family residences to apartments, includes low inventory and high demand. Prices have been inclining. We've been experiencing multiple offers. Competition in offers is also a thing that we have to navigate these days, and that sometimes includes a releasing of contingencies. And we want to be strategic if you're releasing contingencies, because that's a pretty big deal, or less room for negotiating concessions, and all the while staying rational. It may not be only about numbers, but you still want to make sure that you're not making decisions emotionally. So with that, the rental market. Our rental market has strong rents. Vacancy is low, rents have been increasing, but there are seasonal ebbs and flows in the rental market. So these are all things that comprise the real estate climate that are important when it comes to evaluating real estate investments. And while you are going to be learning along the way and gaining information, you don't have to know everything. If you have a team that you can trust, full of experts in the individual categories, then just having an outline of what's going on is absolutely good enough. So number one, consult with a property manager when you are starting to consider investing and evaluating investments, because they are going to be an indispensable source for understanding what the climate is, what to expect, and how you should run your numbers. Include a real estate agent who specializes in this stuff. Not everybody knows how to run pro formas with their clients and discuss the market the same way investment specializing agents do. And they should be able to help you navigate this process and help you understand the climate, which also includes extremely low interest rates right now. These historically low interest rates have an impact by increasing your cash on cash return on investment if all other things are equal. As we were discussing though, all other things are not equal. And we'll get into that. Increasing buying power. Low interest allows you to leverage your money further and buy more for a lower or equal payment. And then it also stimulates demand. And stimulating demand, allowing higher prices and higher offers is something that we've seen fueling our marketplace and fueling the amount of offers that we have going on right now in Idaho. So overall, there's a lot of cash in our marketplace, and that's something that it's important to be aware of, because other investors may be willing to pay more, and it's good for you to set your limits on what you're looking for early on and set them realistically. So increasing prices that we experience, they do affect buying decisions. And when we're talking about increasing prices, we're not talking about subtle things here. We're talking about major increases. Check out these stats on the median price in Ada County. And this is all Ada County data comparing September 2019 to September 2020. We've seen median prices in Ada County go from $330,000 roughly last year to roughly $405,000, and inventory has shot down to 182 homes compared to 764 last year when I was saying inventory was tight. Now that's among existing homes that are already built or resale. In new construction, the median price has gone up to almost $415,000 compared to around $392,000 last year. And that inventory also is very, very low and significantly lower than last year. So this means we are in, I've heard it called an inventory crisis, and I can't really argue with that. And prices are driving decisions, and they're increasing. So many folks are buying maybe smaller homes or buying further away from the location hubs that tend to also come with higher prices, such as downtown Boise or the Village in Meridian. And to put this into perspective, I'll share just a little bit of a story with you. A family of 4 or 5 on a VA loan with a $350,000 home buying budget or approval may have been right above the median prices of homes last year in 2019. And they could have bought in Meridian. They could have bought, depending on the age of the home, they're looking at something that wasn't a total fixer in Boise. And now, as soon as I hear that, I think, okay, maybe we can find them something in Kuna, which historically has not been the center of focus for Boise investors. And then, of course, there's COVID-19. So city folks are moving out of places and looking here in Idaho. And the changing workplaces are allowing remote working and a greater ability to move here in Idaho and invest in Idaho. And the investment dollars coming in from out of state are simply not slowing. They may be actually increasing amidst concerns of the stock market or mistrust of the stock market and any other decision that might send people looking into real estate instead. We've seen in-migration increasing over time and seemingly more so during the pandemic. We've had a major increase in Boise's population. Who is buying here and who is moving here? Western states. And yes, of course, we know California is moving here in droves. I should say Californians, but sometimes it feels like literally California is moving here. And many of the folks who are investors who are buying here may have some other tie to Boise, such as they want to live here, something aside from simple cash on cash return on investment or ROI. They may have family here. Several clients of mine have son or daughter attending BSU, and they want to be the landlord for them, help them get a foothold, or eventually retire here. So when I get phone calls about how is Boise for investing, we heard it's great, I say right away, Boise doesn't have that highest return on investment in the nation. I can't tell you where it is. I'm a local expert, but what I can tell you here, folks, is the gem state is no longer hidden, and people are finding reasons to invest in Idaho, despite the fact that we don't have the highest return in the nation. So through COVID, this has only exacerbated the increase in price, the increase in competition, and the increase in buyers and population. But meanwhile, what about the rental market, and what are landlords doing to incorporate this major part of our climate that's currently happening into their investment decisions? And the main thing would be, we've seen landlords keeping rents a little bit more reasonable. Instead of doing those huge increases, many investors are focusing on getting a little closer to market rents if they've fallen behind, which, by the way, if time has happened, you may have fallen behind in rents due to the steep spikes there. But they're not aggressively increasing rents like maybe they would have this last year. They're working a little bit more to avoid move-outs. And since turnovers cost more than the additional rent that an increase would bring, and since the overall full impact of COVID is unknown, that seems to be a wise strategy to avoid turnovers. And this is a bit of a wait and see what happens mentality. And in this strategy, leases are being re-signed, maybe with smaller increases, but expiration dates are being noticed, and maybe leases are being made to expire or renew when lease rates are higher, or in spring and summer when maybe we know a little bit more on what's happening and impacts and how it affects us. With all the increases we've seen in Boise and in Idaho, in Ada, in Canyon, and throughout the Gem State, it does lead people to ask the question, are we in a bubble? I know Mike Swope gets that question a lot. And his theory is a sudden pop seems unlikely based on all the known info at this time, especially since we have so much investment money pouring in and people moving here. The market seems likely to at least maintain the kind of returns that we've seen, said Mike Swope. He's the founder and designated broker of Swope Investment Properties, a very smart man. And when COVID first hit, there were worries that rent would crater, but so far that has not happened. Thanks to Mike for sharing that. And Tony Drost of First Rate Property Management and the Boise Investment Properties Team at Swope describes some of these slight upticks we've seen very, very recently this fall 2020 in vacancy, and slight decreases of single family home rents as a typical ebbing and flowing of seasonal variations that we're used to seeing. So the market climate, in general, the market does matter. It's full of elements that need to be considered in the evaluation of investment strategies. That includes purchases, when you're deciding how long you're going to hold an investment, and your overall investing goals, whether they are based more around the benefits of cash flow, or whether you're going for appreciation or effective use of leverage, long-term principal pay down, or use of lazy money, so to speak, in a way that's advantageous for cashes. Remember those 5 ways we discussed right at the beginning about how you can make money off real estate in 5 different ways? Well, it's time to plan your investment strategy accordingly with the current climate in mind. So that's the next step.